This is a first step,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Yes.
Okay, that's cool. No problem. So able to see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay. So as part of this course, I'm going to explain you a few things like, first I'm going to tell you the what is the data warehousing. Okay.
Okay.
And where we need the data warehousing, and then I will anyway I'm going to explain you the few data warehousing concepts as well.
Hmm.
Okay.
Hmm.
And then I'm going to explain you the architecture of a data warehousing. Okay.
Hmm.
Like, where what is the complete picture of a data warehousing, like, where the ETL came into the picture, and what is the part of the BI reporting tools. Okay. And
Okay.
then
Okay.
I'm going to explain you what is the ETL, what are the different tools available in the market. Okay. And then
Hmm.
I will walk you through the Informatica sessions. Okay. And
Okay.
as part of this course, I'm going to give you the I have my own prepared presentations. Okay.
Hmm.
Okay, PPT kind of things. And anyway, I'm going to share this PPT once we get into
Hmm.
the sessions. And apart from this Informatica sessions, I'm going to give you the lab exercise as well. Okay, I'm going to give you the documents which you can practice at your home. Okay.
Hmm. Okay.
So these are the things that I'm going to provide. And
Hmm.
apart from that, if you want, if you I will try to arrange a few mock interviews as well from few of my other
Uh,
colleagues. Okay.
few.
Few of my
Uh,
other colleagues, I will ask them to take the mock interviews. Okay, once we are done with the sessions, and if you are
okay.
if you are
Okay.
ready
Okay.
for the
Okay.
interviews, then might be we'll have a
Okay.
few level of mock interviews as well. Okay.
Okay.
So do you have any idea about what is the data warehousing? As you said, you are working in the BA environment, so do you have any exposure into the to get the
Okay.
basic idea of the data
Yeah.
warehousing?
I have worked in data. I have worked in data warehousing
Mm-hmm.
projects a lot. I mean, uh, or I I have worked in databases. So I worked in data warehousing projects a lot. Like data warehousing is all about holding a huge amount of data and working with the performance, managing its performances basically, uh,
Okay.
and
Yes.
applying business logics on the huge amount of data basically.
So that's cool. Then, so you know very well about the data warehousing and data warehousing concept. That's means easy. Okay. So maybe properly, probably we can start working. Start going through the ETL sessions exactly. Okay. So is
No,
that fine for you?
no. I think if it's always good to have more knowledge. So,
Yes, of course.
I
Okay.
have, uh, of course, I know about these things, but it's always good to have. So it can only link that to everything.
Yep. No problem. No problem. Okay, basically data warehousing is a collection of data. As you said, we data warehousing is nothing but again it's a database. Okay, unlike the normal databases, which are supposed to be the relational database, which covers the day-to-day transactions. Okay, our regular
Mm.
databases we call them as a OLTP systems, online transactional processing systems, where you can see the current state of your business. Okay,
Mm.
whereas in our data warehousing is in our database again, but this time this we call it as an OLAP, online analytical processing, where it should be represent the complete picture of your business, not to the current state. Okay, what is your status
Mm.
of your business yesterday and the last year, last few years. Okay,
Basically,
till
the
from
summary parts. Yes.
summary parts from last few years to till date.
Mm.
If you want to
Mm.
summarize your business in a single point of
Mm.
view, that is nothing but your
Mm.
data warehousing. Okay,
Mm.
let me explain you where we need a data warehousing exactly. Okay, let's talk about the international bank, Citibank or something else. Okay, let's talk about a Citibank. They have their business. They have their doing their operations at the USA. Okay,
Mm.
and they have their doing their operations in India, as well as they are going to do their business in the Australia. Okay, these are the three different regions. Okay.
Okay. Mm.
Okay,
Mm.
give me a second. and this will be the, let's say, India, and they are doing their business even in Australia. Okay. So USA, they have their own specific database to make sure they log their operations transactions in the USA's side. Okay, they have their own database for the USA, and they have their own database for India, and they have their own database for USA. Okay. See, being the high level business people, I want to see my trends, like, whether my, compared to the last finance year, whether I have increased my sales, whether I have increased my business, and whether I have, I have reached my goals. Every financial year, every business, they set up their own goals. Okay. So end of the every year, they want to see whether we can able to reach our setup goals, or if at all not reachable to our setup goals, then what will be the problem, why we are not going to reach our goals. We set up some amount of revenue, some set of $1 million of revenue, but we didn't reach that revenue. uh, and and again, there is another case saying that, few regions, they will reach, they will exceed their own setup goals, right? And few regions, they might not able to reach their goals. Okay. Then when we consolidated, uh, they need to understand why we are not reaching our goals in particular region in Australia, and whereas in USA we are more exceeding our setup goals. Okay, for last financial. So what is the strategy that we can implement in Australia to get more revenue, like in USA? Okay. So to see the business trends and all at the high level people, they want to see the trends. Okay. For the high level people, we cannot ask them go and do the select statement on USA server. You can get the USA server status, and go and do the another select statement on Australia database, and get the data, and you can get compare those both the data sheets, and you can see the you can do your analysis. We cannot ask them that high level people, right? Okay, they are interested more in the summarized data, not the linear data. Okay. For that, what we will do is we will set up a data warehousing. Okay. We'll prepare one data warehousing, which is nothing but, as I said, is a consolidated database from your OLTP systems. Okay. We call that USA, India, and USA, we call them as a OLTP systems. Okay. We will prepare one data warehousing. We will prepare one data warehousing here. Okay. And we will consolidate all our USA, India, and Australia data to the data warehousing. Okay. If you see here, this is our data warehousing, let's say. Okay. We are integrating the data from USA, India, and AUC. As I said, these are the three different databases, right? We are integrating the data into the single part, that is nothing but our data warehousing. Okay. And again, data warehousing is a database. So to do this integration kind of thing, that is where that ETL came into the picture. Okay.
Okay.
Using the ETL tools, we will integrate the data into the data warehousing. Okay. Once we set up our data warehousing. Okay. Once we set up our data warehousing database, there will be the another layer called reporting layer. Okay. There might be the different reporting people, end users, we can say. Okay. Our front end applications, they want to see that CEO kind of thing. CEO, CTO, high level people will be using these reports to analyze the data. Okay. And we will ask reporting people to get connected with our data warehousing database. Okay. And generate the reports. Those reports are dashboards. Okay. The reporting people normally generate reports or dashboards. Okay. Reporting people will generate the reports, and those reports will be used by the high level people to understand the business growth, okay, to analyze their business and to see the trends whether we are exceeding the data or we are reaching our goals or not. Okay, this is a very brief about the entire data warehousing picture. Okay, so far any questions on this picture, that the data warehousing approach?
I don't know.
It is pretty clear, right?
Yes.
Yep. So ETLs coming by, that is the data warehousing picture as I explained you here. ETL is the main role. Okay, this is a part of the data warehousing. To set up the data warehousing, ETL will be the main role. Once we done with your data warehousing database setup, then the reporting will came into the picture, and they will have they will use their own reporting tools and to generate the reports and dashboards. Maybe iReports or Cognos, Business Objects, MicroStrategy, okay, Hyperion. These are the different tools available in the market in terms of reporting side. Okay, and ETL, coming back to the ETL side, there are many ETL tools in the market right now. One of the leading tool is the Informatica. Apart from the Informatica, we have other tools called Data Stage and Ab Initio. Even Pentaho open source ETL tool is there. Okay, do you have any idea about the Pentaho? You said you worked on the open source side.
No, I just worked in Jasper
Only reporting
reporting
side,
tool.
right? Okay, just
Yes.
Pentaho is also another
Pentaho's
open. Yep.
source for okay, ETL tool.
Yes, it's a combination of ETL and reporting. It is a suite, actual BI suite. There, those reports, how you people are can able to create the reports using the Jasper C, like that in the Panther will be providing their own setup environment. Okay, it's similar to the iReports.
Okay.
It's again the open source actually. So coming back to the ETL, there are multiple ETL tools in the market. That is Informatica, Data Stage, okay, Ab Initio, and Oracle Warehouse Builder is now it's come as a OBIEE. Okay, so these are the leading tools in the market. Okay, and I will be walk you through the Informatica tool. Okay, and this is the Informatica looks like. Okay, in the Informatica side, okay, there will be Informatica side, there will be two components. One is the server component, and another one is the client component. Okay, okay, server component is nothing but in the server, okay, where you can configure your server and you can connect to those servers using the client tools. Okay, there are four different client tools available in the Informatica. That is the Power Center Designer, the one you can see now. Okay, the Power Center Designer, where you can give the mappings and all. Mapping is nothing but a logical representation of a data movement. Okay, so from this is my source and this is my target, I want to load data from source to target. That is nothing but, if you see here, source USA server, from the USA server, one of the table you are accessing, right? In the mapping, you will point your mapping to one of the USA table, server table, and to the data warehousing table. So data warehousing table will be become your target, and the table coming from the USA side, USA server side is the source. Okay, that logical representation will be done in the Power Center Designer side. Okay, and if you see here, you can able to see four icons, right? R, D, W, and M. Yeah, D stands for Power Center Designer. Designer is used one of the client tool provided by the Informatica. Okay, where you can make use of source and target. You can import the source definition, target definitions. Okay, source definition and target definition. You can give the logical representation, like you can apply your business tools under. We call it as a mapping. Okay, once we done with the mapping, I will show you the mapping as well if you want. Okay, let me show you one simple mapping, how it look like. So this is the first time for you, right, to see the Informatica?
Yes.
So this is how your Informatica mapping looks like. Okay. Okay. See here, the green color one, the first one, from the object itself, we can see the source definition. Okay. You can able to see, right, from the first one, having the
Yes,
green
yes,
color, that is source definition.
yes.
And
Source
if you come back to
definition.
the right, yeah, if you come back to the right side, at the last you can see the target definition. Okay.
Okay.
Okay, that source is nothing but the table coming from your as per our example, table coming from the USA server.
Hmm.
Okay, and the target would be your databasing table. Okay, these are the transformation
Hmm.
that we can make use of implementing our business rules. Okay,
What do you mean by transformations?
transformation is the one which provided by the Informatica, where you can execute your business rules. The
I
business
mean,
rules
what
in
kind
the
of transformation is it going through? So this
there
is
are
the target
many.
you're going.
Come again, I didn't hear you properly.
Say this is the first one is the source definition. So what are the
Yes.
transformation? What kind of transformation is it going through?
Yeah, next one is the source qualifier. Okay, whenever you do any source definition, whenever you are trying to do any mapping, you just need to drag the
Hmm.
source from here. Okay, the pan should be like this. Okay, there will be the source pan is there, right? These are the source tables available in your project. So you just need to, if you want to create a mapping, first you need to drag the source, and you need to have to prepare one mapping. You should have one source and you should have one target, right? So you should be in a position that from where you want to get the data, and from to where you want to load the data, that you should be aware of,
No,
right or
no,
wrong?
okay, I'm getting that, but say, why
Yep.
is not the source is directly mapped to the target? Why there are two
Yes,
different
yes, that is what I am
transformations?
trying to say. From the source side, let's say, if we see here from the source definition, I have the first name and last name, right?
Yeah,
So employee first name and last name. Whereas in the data warehousing side, at the reporting side, I want to see the full name.
okay.
Okay.
Then that you
The
will join the both of them.
Yep, we concatenate the first name and last name. Okay.
Hmm.
And again the same picture. And let me tell you why we need a transformation. Okay. There are there are multiple transactions coming from the USA as well as India and US, right? Australia.
Hmm.
Let's say
Hmm.
my date format of the USA server is DDMMYY.
Hmm.
Okay, whereas in India the date format should be DDMONYYYY, and Australia is made
Okay.
with a different date format. Okay, and the data warehousing, as you said, it is a centralized data warehousing that should be in a unique format only, right? All the
Hmm.
different, whether that data coming from the USA, India, or Australia, in terms of data warehousing, it doesn't matter to me, right? From where it is coming.
Hmm.
Once it
Hmm.
is moved into the data warehousing side, it should be in a unique format. It should be in a
Hmm.
specific standard readable format by
Hmm.
every application, right?
Hmm.
So let's just imagine if you are from the reporting side, in the Jasper's report, if you see
Hmm.
in the report, you are going to maintain the same standard, or you are going to have one
Hmm.
record in the one different format, another record in the different format. No, right?
Okay. Okay, just one question.
Yep.
The way you tell me that this is that it happened. Say you have to change the format of the table, format of the date, or something like that. That could be
Yes.
that could be done in one transaction only. But here I see there are two transactions, and you told me that there could be multiple transactions. So why do we
Ye-
need multiple transactions for that? I
yes.
mean, we
Yes.
can
See.
handle that in just one part only.
Yep. Each transformation have their set of own different algorithms. Okay, specific functionalities. Okay, if you want to join two sources, okay, you cannot do with the expression transformation. Okay, see if you are doing this data conversions and all coming from the single source, right or wrong?
Hmm.
Let's
Hmm.
say there will be multiple sources. Okay,
Yes,
you know the
there
database
could be
side, right?
multiple source definitions. Yes.
Yeah, multiple source definition. First, if you want to convert the data, first you need to merge the data, right or wrong?
Yes.
Coming from the two different tables, you need to join the data first, right? Then
Hmm.
on top of that joiner data, you need to convert these data conversions, or concatenation, all these operations you can perform, and then loading into the target, right?
Why not just uh, do the transformation and the merging all together? I mean,
We cannot do
one
like that,
can
right?
apply that.
So
Okay.
can you from the database side, can you able to do multiple operations at a time in the single select statement? As I said, if you join, I want to join the data first. Okay, and based on the, let's say I have three tables. Okay,
Hmm.
and first I need to join two tables, and based on that, on top of the result output coming from the two tables joining, and I want to join that data to the another table.
No, we can
So
join
are
three
we
tables
going to,
in one go.
but logical
We can
execution,
join
if you
three
talk
tables
about,
in one go.
we can join, but how the execution will happen internally? It will join first to two tables, and based on the output, it will join with the third table, right?
Join the third table, yes.
Right. So there will be two transactions,
Yes, yes.
independent transaction, right?
Hmm.
So even though we are,
Yes.
in the select statement, you can join three tables, like table one join, table two, and join three. But it will join first to two tables, and based on the join condition, it will join with the third table, right?
Join condition. Yes.
Yep. First, it will join two tables, and according to the join
Then
condition, it
join
will,
the, yes. It will
like,
join
so there
third.
will be two operations, right?
Hmm.
Agreed or not? There will be two logical
Yes.
operations handled by the SQL database. Like that here also, for the joining, there will be one joiner transformation, which the functionality of the joiner transformation is to join the multiple data. And I will tell you another scenario, like one source is coming from the Oracle and another source is coming from the Teradata. So are you able to join them at the database level?
One from source from Oracle, another one from.
One is coming from the Oracle, one table is from Oracle table, and another table is from Teradata side, and the third one is from the flat file, that is Excel sheet. So
Excel
can you
sheet.
able to join all these tables together at the database level?
Uh, yeah, we have to just get into obviously get into a table first. Insert the
Come
data
again?
into a table first. We have to insert the data into a table first.
No,
Either
what
three
I am
different
trying to,
table or just one.
yep, let's say I have the employee table in the Oracle database, and I have another table called employee one in the Teradata. Okay, from the Teradata database. So if I want to see the data from both the databases, so from the Oracle side or from the Teradata side, are you able to join the data? Because they are
From
two different data sources, right?
yes,
From
I
the
mean
Teradata,
yes, from the Teradata I want to join the
see,
data into
no,
what?
I want you to join data. I have the two
Hmm.
tables. One is coming from the Oracle and another one is coming from the Teradata. Can you
Teradata.
able to
Yes.
write a select statement? Can you able to join? No, right?
I can join only if I insert the data. I mean, there
There
is
should be in a
actually
single server, right? Single database. Either these two tables.
no. Oracle I can actually work on that. Oracle
Mm-hmm.
has Oracle can work on Teradata environment also. It
But
has or has a package for that.
but
It can work
again,
on
it needs.
heterogeneous.
But for that,
Oracle
you need to have the
mm,
additional license, right?
additional in the
Yes.
enterprise edition of 11th 11
Mm-hmm.
GB, you have this facility through which Oracle can actually communicate to heterogeneous environments.
Yes, yes. But the part of the Oracle 11G package, you need to pay more actually compared to the other versions. Why? Because of this connectivity and all, they increase their package and all.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay, there
Okay.
are okay.
Okay, that is fine. Okay, along with that one, there will be one flat file. Okay, you are pretty
Yes,
sure that
okay.
you can join Teradata and Oracle tables as well at the single snapshot.
And not that select statement. I have to insert the data into a table first, into
Which
any
table?
Oracle table.
Ah, that is what you are doing, right? So you are,
Yes, I
see,
have to
that
insert
is
into
what I
an
don't want
Oracle
at the
table
database
first.
level. No, I don't want that
Mm.
one into the Oracle table. So I want one table
Mm.
should be in Oracle, another table should be in Teradata. I don't want any
Mm.
copy paste kind of thing in between two servers, and I want to see the data. Can you able to do
Mm.
that? Even though if you have the license,
It,
first you need to get the data into the
mm,
Oracle first, right?
I have to I cannot exactly tell you because I cannot use it in a select statement, but I have worked in an environment where I can actually implement the business logic
Yes.
implement the business logic in Teradata, have a Teradata data into a what do you call that? Have a data into Teradata environment and implement the logic from Oracle itself. So I have to
So
actually go through that part.
you are explaining all these things in terms of in the view of report side or at the database level.
No. Database programming, coding, it's hardcore coding.
Okay, so like
So this is an
package kind
ETL
of
tool.
thing.
It's absolutely different. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
it's absolutely hardcore coding. So that's
Okay,
absolutely different
what?
from what ETL tool does.
Yep. How you can do if let's say there will be millions of records. Okay, in my Teradata table, actually 1.5 million record is there in my Teradata table, and another 1 lakh records in my Oracle table. How much time it took to
Yeah,
fetch the
it
data?
is going to take to merge the data is going to take a lot of time. I
But
mean,
whereas in Informatica, you can reduce that time. Okay,
yes,
Informatica
Informatica is
has.
absolutely something different than what databases are.
Yep, yep. See, you asked me, right, why we need to do this kind of
Yeah,
conversions and all at the Informatica side.
we're doing no. I asked you why do you need two transformation? We can do it in one transformation only.
So, so
Can
that
we
is
do in
what
a one transformation only?
it depends, right? If you talk about the database side, join functionality is different and union functionality is different, right? Even though they are merging
Yes,
the data
yes,
from two tables.
yes.
Okay, so union
No,
will also do
yes.
get the
No,
data from two tables
union
and
is
command it.
something. Sorry, but union is something absolutely different from what join is.
No. I'm talking about in terms of data. Okay, you using union, I can get
Mm,
the data
mm.
from two tables, right?
Yes, and from join we can get the
E-
data from two tables. Yes.
so why can't we take that whatever the data we are getting from the union, why can't we get it from the joiner? Anyway, two
I
tables is
didn't
there and I
get
want to
your
see the one
question.
output, right? No, I have two tables and I want to see the data from two tables. You said using the joiner and as well as using the union as well, you can get the data from two tables, right?
I can view the unions is like I have a record from one table, I have record from another table. I'm just say employee table, and then there is department table. I'm just through union. I'm just getting the writing a select statement and getting data for two particular table, but they are actually not comparing it. Join is actually comparing and checking equality and having some similar key which can actually communicate between two particular table, like having a primary key and foreign key for
So,
to
but
communicate.
the
So
but
in
but
union,
at the okay, sorry to interrupt you, but at the end, I can able to see the data from two tables in the joiner as well, right or wrong? Even though based on the
yes,
join
I
condition,
can. Yeah. Hmm. No, I can see
see,
table from two data from both the tables.
yep, that is where my point comes into the picture. Okay, say at the
Hmm.
I don't know about the joiner and union. Okay, I know
Hmm.
only
Hmm.
about the data. Okay, I want to see the data. Let's say employee and department table.
Okay.
I want to see the employee data as well as department data in a single
Okay.
snapshot. Okay, so you
Okay.
said using the union. Maybe if I want to specific columns, then you can using the union also. Forget about the primary key,
Hmm.
foreign key, and all these things. Okay, just talk about the
No,
data.
no.
I was
Yeah. Hmm. Hmm.
see. I want to
Okay.
I want to tell you that even though using the joiner, you can join the data from two tables. Okay, forget about the based on the join condition. Maybe you can filter out some records. That is fine, absolutely for me. Okay, but my question
Hmm.
is that can we get two tables data from the joiner or not? Forget
From
about the
yes.
records, number of records, and all.
Yes. Yes.
And
Yes.
can we get the data from two tables using the union?
Yes.
So then, what is the difference? Both are working together, right? Both are working for the same purpose, right? In terms of data.
Uh,
In terms of data,
okay.
forget about the logical representation. Okay,
Okay.
the
Okay.
functionality and all.
If okay if I not don't go for the logical information all the things, but there is one minor difference even in
Mhm.
terms of data, and that is
Okay.
using join. I'm adding up to a multiple number of columns, but when I talk about having a union, I'm actually including the number of rows. So
Mhm.
having a number of rows and increasing the number of rows and increasing the number of column is two absolutely different things.
Even in joiner also you can keep a single like that, right? Select a star dot from A, star dot from B, from table A,
And
table
then
B, right?
again, then the primary key and foreign key comes into the picture.
No, it will be a full auto
Okay,
gen, right?
okay.
Partition.
Yeah,
See,
okay.
so what I am trying to
So,
trace, everything has their own individual functionality, right?
on
According to our
yes,
business,
yes.
if you want to implement that functionality, you can go and make use of joiner. If you don't need to go
Okay,
with the
yes.
joining conditional, you can go with the union, right?
Union, yes. It depends
So
upon is what we want to do with the data, actually.
yes, exactly. That is what it makes sense to
So,
me.
yeah.
So even in Informatica as well,
And,
every
mm,
transformation
mm,
has their own set of functionality. Okay, according to our
mm, mm.
business. Okay, according to your business, you can make use of the transformations provided by the Informatica and load the data from one end to the another end. Okay, very complicated business rules also you can implement at the Informatica level, make use of the existing provided transformation. Okay, this is only small scenario where you want to concatenate. Okay, there might be the multiple business scenarios, right? From the reporting side, if you see, they want to see the data like this, and they want to see the data should be like this in the database table to generate a report. Okay, to make that data is available, and we will load the data into the data warehousing side. Okay, this is a outline of the Power Center Designer tool. Okay, this is how we can create the mapping and all. And once we create the mapping here, okay, and there will be another client tool called Power Center Workflow Manager. Okay, as I said, mapping is a logical representation, actual data movement. Okay, from source to definition, actual data movement will not happen here. Here it is, you can say, no, if you talk about the database, there will be a logical DB diagram and a physical structure, right? Logical structure and physical structure, right? If you go to the conceptual knowledge, okay, how we are going to create the database? First, we will create the logical database, and then we will, based on the logical diagram, logical representation, we will convert that logical to into the reverse engineering into the physical diagram, right or wrong? There will be a logical representation before your physical representation, right? In terms of database tables.
Yes.
Okay. So like that, mapping is the logical representation. Okay, how we want to move the data, you can represent the in terms of a logical way here, logical pictorial way here itself. Okay, using the transformations and all, you can execute, you can give the logical representation, logical data movement from source to target. Okay, and actual data will be moved from actual data movement will happen here in the workflow manager. Okay, here we have two columns. We should know two things, that is the session. Okay, each is session, whatever the mapping you are creating here. Okay, let's say here is a mapping name is m_exp, right? For map_exp, there will be associated session. Okay, in the associated session, we are going to give the ODBC connection. Okay, this is, see here, this is the source definition. You can see from which database you need to get this source definition data. Okay, as I said, there will be a data from there will be data coming from the Teradata, and there will be data coming from the Oracle, right? So you need to provide the Informatica saying that this table is coming from the Oracle and this table is coming from the Teradata. Please go and connect to the ODBC connection. Based on this ODBC connection, go and connect that particular server and get the data for this table. Okay, so that kind of ODBC connection and physical representation will be given here itself. Okay, make sense?
Yeah.
And another tool called that Workflow Monitor. This is where you can actually see the stats of a running process. Okay, once we set up your Informatica, once you're done with your Informatica mapping here. Okay, and after that you need to go to the Workflow Designer Manager, and you need to create your session. Okay, once you're done with the session, the moment when you click on the start workflow, it will take you to the Power Center monitor. See here, it is start running, right? So succeed, failure, all these details will be given here. Okay, so how many records fetched from the source, how many records loaded into the target. Okay, all these kind of stats will be given here itself. You can monitor the status of your workflow. Okay, the status of your running status of your whatever you are just executed, your job, you can monitor here. Okay, clear?
Okay.
So do you have any questions on the overview of this Power Center tools? And there will be another tool called, give me a second, we missed this one. This is a Power Center Repository Manager. Okay, from the name itself, repository, it's nothing but in the so do you have any idea about the repository?
Storing of data. Yes. Storing of the basically.
Exactly. It's related to the metadata kind of thing, right?
Yes.
It's somewhat related to the metadata, right? So storing the data internally, right? Around repository is almost related to the data dictionary tables in the Oracle database.
Yes.
Okay, like this. So here
basically storing the codes and codes and all those things.
Exactly. So repository manager, if you want to create any folder, or if you want to create any folder, or if you want to give the permissions, okay, permissions, administrative things, all the things will be covered here itself in the Power Center Repository Manager. Okay, these are the 4 client tools provided by the Informatica to provide I mean to say to move the data from one OLTP to OLAP side. This is the complete overview of the Power Center. Okay,
Hmm.
so yeah, do you have any questions so far?
No. Okay.
Okay, and let me show you how I'm going to give the slides and everything should be very clear and very specific to with the screenshots. Okay, I will give you the scenario like that. This is the Power Center administrative side. Okay, so this is what we just see, the Power Center Repository Manager interface. Okay,
Yeah, repository only. Okay, you told me that there is a server and there is a client for Informatica, right?
yes. We are
So,
talking about the Power Center client tools. Okay, I will show you the Power
yeah.
Center administrator as well. So this is how I will my screenshots will be.
Okay,
Okay, everything should
I have
be.
one question.
Yep. Yep.
Why do I need okay, are we storing any kind of a data in Informatica? Data in the sense anything. Are we storing anything in the Informatica?
Yes. You said in the repository manager. Uh, when we talk about the repository manager, you said it is a kind of storing the
Yes. Storing
code,
basically
right?
what exactly are we storing in here
Yes.
inside
Let's say
this?
if you created one mapping, right? So that
Hmm.
mapping, the mapping should be identified with the unique ID, and it should be stored somewhere in our database, right?
Okay.
So repository, see, Power Center server need one database, okay,
Hmm. Hmm.
where it can store all the data, like how many folders. When you create a folder, each and every folder should be unique, right? And the mapping name
Hmm.
should be, if you go back to the database side, table name should be unique within the database, right? Within that particular
Hmm.
schema,
Hmm.
right or wrong? So how
Hmm.
Oracle can able to identify that this table is already there?
Uh,
So whenever you
Data
create any
dictionary.
table, yep, data dictionary table, like that Informatica have their own dictionary tables. Okay,
Okay.
while
Okay.
configuring your Informatica server, it will ask you to provide one database details where it can configure the data dictionary tables. There will be
Okay.
1 2 tables. Okay,
Okay.
5 12
So
tables.
whatever table we are extracting or whatever data we are extracting from the say, OLTP server or flat files,
Hmm.
that gets a copy is made over here, or
No, only the mapping session object, Informatica object having uh, will be having their own ID numbers, okay, unique ID numbers, and will be stored in the Informatica server repository database. Okay, data movement and all data will not going to be stored anywhere in the Informatica side. Okay, because you are
okay,
connecting
only
from
the metadata. Okay,
metadata, right?
only okay. So if you're saying that if only the structure of the table will get stored over here,
Not exactly
the
structure,
data
only
is
the
not
name of
getting.
the only the table name. If you see here, this is my mapping, right?
Not the
Okay.
column name. Okay,
No,
column
no.
names will not get stored over there.
Yep, let me explain you. This is my mapping name, right? M underscore exp, right? Let's say this is a first mapping. Okay, what will
Hmm.
happen is in the out of 5 tables,
Hmm.
there will be one table which can be stored this mapping details. Okay, and Informatica, what it will do, it will assign mapping ID to my mapping whenever I create a mapping. Let's say my mapping ID is called 1. Okay, and this source qualifier and then expression and this target, these 4 are associated with my mapping or not? Because these are all part
Yes,
of my mapping, right?
yes. The
So
source
what will happen?
from the source till the target, all are a part of the mapping.
Part of the mapping. Okay, so if you go and check about the source, source have their own identification number, right?
Hmm.
If you talk about only
Hmm.
source have their own ID number. But when you talk about the source and mapping, there will be a relation between the source and mapping, right? Because this particular source is associated with this particular mapping, right? How can you say this source is there in your mapping? we should say that in the employee source is a part of the m underscore emp m underscore exp mapping, right or wrong? These four objects are associated with my mapping, right? So how can we say this four objects are associated with my mapping? Because Informatica will take care of all these things. Okay, Informatica will store in such a way that there will be a foreign key primary key relationship between the mapping and source, and mapping and the transformation, and mapping and the target. Okay, let's say there will be
Okay.
a source table and target table and transformation table. Each transformation should be identified with one unique ID. Each source will be identified with one unique ID, and target is like that. They will store in their appropriated tables. Okay, if we talk about the mapping table will have the association, like integrity rule, like primary key foreign key relationship with all other three tables, that is source table, transformation table, and the target table. Then only Informatica can able to identify. Whenever you try to execute your mapping, it will go and fetch the data on top of those 5 tables, and it will make sure your mapping will be valid and your workflow will run. Okay.
Okay. Basically, what repository is storing is the different mappings it is storing. Means
Yes,
the
different
ID of
mappings.
the IDs
Yes.
and the mapping.
Yep, mapping
Not
and as
the
is.
name of not the name of the table or anything. Means obviously the
Yep.
name of the
Yeah.
table. Okay, if it
Obviously.
is storing the mapping, which means that it also have to store the name of the columns, because if it does not store the name of the columns, how will it map to the name employee
No.
ID to employee ID if it is not storing it?
No. See,
It has to.
when you try to connect these three things, okay, when you
Hmm,
try to do this kind of thing, whenever you are trying to execute your mapping, so mapping will
hmm,
have the metadata, right?
hmm.
It will be converted the entire mapping into the binary format, and it will store the logically it will store somewhere in the vital tables. Okay, not exactly the entire picture. Okay, it will convert this into the binary format, and it will store somewhere. Okay, whenever you try to fetch this mapping, again it will convert that binary format into the logical representation, okay, according to their own algorithms, and it will show you in front like this. But
Okay,
actually
just one
this
question.
yep.
Okay, sorry. Just one question. If you're saying the repository will only store the part that the name of the mapping and the source table and the source qualifier, then expression, and then the target IDs, and then
Yep.
it will map from from those like primary key and foreign key implementation is done. It will map to all of these
Yep.
the whole basically the source definition part, ID to source qualifier ID to expression ID to target definition ID. But
Yep.
somehow it has also have to store this particular employee, the 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 mapping of actual columns that is being mapped to the source qualifier employees to its
Yep.
expression columns. It has also have to store these
Yes,
parts
that is what
somewhere.
that
Otherwise,
is
how
what I
will be
am
able
trying
to?
to. Yes, that is what I am trying to say. It will convert. It will load this entire mapping. It will convert into the binary format. Okay, and it is going to store that binary format value in the one of the table. Okay, whenever you try to fetch the table, it will convert
Okay.
that binary format which is stored in the repository tables, and it will show you like this. What you can see in the screen.
Okay.
Okay, it is not.
Okay. So
You got my point,
okay.
right?
Okay. Got it. Yes. Yes.
So anything else you want to discuss? I mean, there's
No.
any questions on that?
No. No.
So,
No.
what is I mean to say, what is our intention saying that, how many days you can able to spare for the Informatica training, and what is your plans actually? So accordingly we can plan the
I didn't
schedules,
get
right?
your point.
I mean to say,
Yes.
so
I'm
according to the,
actually
yes, please.
okay. I'm planning for the development part of this Informatica
Okay.
center.
So
Only the
what is your estimated
development
time?
designing
So what is your estimated time? Like,
estimation.
see, we have our own estimated times and
Means how
also.
fast I have to complete.
So how fast you can able to
No,
practice?
I'll go
That
by
is the
the.
question.
I mean, I am going. I mean, I'm going by, the basically the part that, I mean, I'm going by the topic, not how, I cannot say that how much time it will take. I mean, it's not going to take forever, of course, but I cannot actually commit how much time it's going to take. I mean, you might know better. You are the
Yes, I
trainer
know, I
in
know,
this
I
regard.
know, I know that. As I said, we have our plans and all. It's comes around 40 to 45 hours of time. Okay, to finish all the
Okay.
development and all.
Okay. So
So
obviously,
maybe
if we go for the continuous education, continuous training, that it will be done faster. If we wait, we have this time lagging then between them. So
yes, so that is what I am
but
asking actually. So if you have that intention
I
saying that,
will. I would actually like to go as fast as possible.
okay,
Uh,
so maybe you want to it just comes around 30 to 25 classes, right? Maybe you can able
yes.
to spend more than 2 hours a day, right? 2 to 3
2 hours
hours.
would be actually a lot.
Mm-hmm.
2 hours would be actually a lot.
So if you,
I mean, if you have more times, I can go for 2 hours or 1.5 to 2 hours would be okay.
so why? Because if you want to reduce that 40 hours to, I mean, that 40 days to 20 days, then you need
Yes,
to
yes, we
spend
have
much
to.
time, right?
Okay, yes, I understand that. Understand that.
And what is your comfortable time? I mean to say, so what time is comfortable for you in terms of
This
your
particular
USA
time is also
timings?
comfortable.
So
This
now
particular time is comfortable.
it's a 9:49 p.m. for you, right?
Okay, when the basic no, it's not 9:45. It's in fact 8:45, 8:15
So
CST
where?
actually.
Okay, where is your location actually?
CST.
Okay, okay, that's cool.
It's
That is
in
EST. For me, it's IST. Okay, that's cool.
okay. It's not EST. CST.
Okay,
C
okay.
as of Canada.
Yes, yes, I got it. I got it. So the one I can able to see here is EST actually 9:49.
Okay. Okay.